Hi guys, welcome back to Freeze Drying Mama. Today I'm really excited because one of my closest friends, I consider her a sister, actually ordered her freeze dryer. She got it recently and now I'm down here at her house and we're going to unbox it and we're going to set it up and you get to join us. I'm so excited. We'll give you some tips and tricks and I'm going to teach you guys a couple of the things that I didn't know when I was getting my freeze dryer and now I know them. So I'm hoping that my friend Kammie will be able to benefit from that. We're going to also set up her filter, her bucket. We're going to set up the best kind of way to set up the freeze dryer, and then we're going to run her first batch. I'm super excited, so let's get started. All right, hi guys. Okay, we're back, and this is my friend Kammie. She's like my sister, and I'm so excited. Got her freeze dryer, and we're going to start unboxing. So if you want to come in closer, we'll explain the things that she's going to be getting, and I'm like motioning to my daughter to come in. So remember how this works. This is your circle front holder. This is awesome. You can get, I think there are people who make these like customizable. This works perfect. You don't need to spend any more cash. That'll go in your hole. This is the filter that they send you. I hate it. I think it's horribly made. No offense, Harvest Right, but you guys can do better. This is actually, you can use it if you want. I wouldn't use it because everything leaks. It looks like they did a good job sealing it, but it leaks. So the one I gave you that will work through is better.
Looks a little archaic, huh?
Yeah, it does. These are your bags that they sent you. These are awesome. I believe these are 7 ml. These are awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. They're expensive when you buy them on their site. So I'll just give you the link for the ones. They do the pack, so you can buy the oxygen absorbers from their website, and they do them in the packs of 10, so it's easier when you do a load. We can put it back in the box. That's fine. And then, but these are awesome. And then I'll show you how to reseal them when you use them. And then you have your sealer, and this is your pump. So your sealer is the one that's on. So the sealer is the one that I use that you've seen on the videos, and then the pump is the same one that we use in the maintenance videos. So we don't need to do these yet. Yep, they're pretty. So this is what it looks like in the box for the top one. Then. Then we have the nice big boy, and it's not as big as it looks. They really pack these suckers in good. You shouldn't have any issues getting them out.
Oh, look at that. Lifts right off. Yeah. Kind of.
Isn't that cool? I love that. And then you can build forts with those boxes. Gary's going to build forts.
I can get scissors.
If you want, it doesn't matter. They should come off pretty good.
Somebody. Come on.
You can do it. Good job. Yes. All right. There we go. Okay, so Kammie got the black medium because I told her to, and she usually does what I tell her to. And so this is actually
black is classic.
Black is classic. Okay, they started packaging these things better. That's awesome. So proud of you, Harvest Right. Some things looking good. It's packed in. So this is what it looks like, and she's got her trays in here, or her shelves for her trays. Just like we showed on the other ones, her trays are packed in here nice, and she's got her cord and everything. So we're going to get it set up, and then we'll show you how to do the wiring and the tubing and the buckets and all that stuff in just a minute. Okay, so we're in here, and Kammie has a great space for this. She's put it inside, which makes it easier for her to access in the winter, and it keeps it protected from the heat in the summer. It's a machine. It's going to get hot. So it's great that she has this in the house. And she also has it to where she can close the door and keep the sound contained to this room. This couldn't be a better spot. We have it set up like this right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn it so that we can easier access the plug-in, the pump, and the drain. So, and then she can also see it when she walks by it when it's running and stuff. So we will have it turned this way in just a moment. This came out of the freeze dryer. The trays were kind of tilted, which is fine. That's not a big deal. But when you start it, you want your trays to be correctly positioned, and that's with the orange on top and the flat stainless steel on the bottom, or aluminum I think is what it is. But these trays were in there. You know how I love their stainless steel trays. They're amazing. And then there was also in another one, we had all the cords and stuff. So we have the vacuum pump hose, the plug-in, and then there's the drain tube. Do not, and I'm going to repeat this a few times, do not Loctite anything. Don't use gasket sealer, nothing. Don't do anything. They give you what you need. Don't put it on because that might create some kind of a hole or a leak and it might seal it incorrectly. You don't want that. Plus, as we learned a long time ago, if you Loctite something, it's pretty much stuck and you can't fix it. So just learn from my mistakes. So we're going to get this again set up, and then we'll talk about a few more of the other ways to set your freeze dryer up so it's more efficient use for you. Okay? Okay, so as you can see, we've got the hose from the machine down. We're going to go all the way over here to the pump. You can see it back there. It's been hand tightened by our lovely assistant, Gary, and he has made it sure it's tight. I highly recommend having a guy tighten it. It has nothing to do with girl strength and whatever, but usually guy hands are a little bit stronger, and we don't want to tighten that with the tool because you don't want it too tight. Okay, so now I'm going to hand this to my other assistant, Taylor, and we're going to talk about how to set up your cords and stuff. Okay, so they'll give you these cords, and it's not as straightforward as plugging them all into the outlets and being good with it. What we're doing is you got to make sure that the machine is plugged into the wall and your pump is plugged into the machine, because the machine is the brains of everything. So the girl part goes in here, plug this into the wall, and then the pump plug-in plugs in here in this back part. There's like, you can't miss it. Now the pump is plugged into the machine because the machine tells the pump when to turn on and when to turn off and whatever. So that's really important that you have it set up right. It's also kind of hard not to set it up right because they only have a male and a female part in the back, and you can't plug a male part into a male part because it's weird. Okay, so there's a power button back here. We have that done, and then we have right here, what I love about this is that this is going to be your drain point. It's also your, you want to have easy access to it, because when this is closed, this is where the vacuum gets started, because this is where the only point is open. So if this is open, then you have a leak, then your vacuum, you can't obtain a vacuum, which sucks because that's the only way you can do this. And then when it's like, oh, your load's done or you want to check it, this is where you open it. So this valve right here is the most important part, I think, to the whole process. So this is where the air will come in. So a quick tip, when you have it in your bucket to collect water, thank you, Kammie, such a good assistant. Just for now, this comes in a coil. So the plastic tubing is going to be like memoried into a coil, and that's fine. So you want to have a bucket set up underneath so that you can drain the runoff water from the ice, because again, we are freeze drying, so we're getting we're getting water in the drum. It needs somewhere to go when you're done with it, when it's defrosting. So that's where it'll go, is down in here into this bucket. So you want to make sure your freeze dryer is lifted up. So that's why we have it on the table. I like the pump to be on a crate, because then you can lean it forward and put it into your filter or into a really easy drain off method, whatever's easiest for you. And Kammie will find that as she's doing this, it's going to get easier, because she'll figure out, okay, this works for me. Oh, I don't like Bonnie's way, I'm going to try it this way. So this is a great way to start, but that doesn't mean this is where she's going to end up, because everybody's different and everybody likes different things. But I do love that she has it set up so that the front is easily seen by the door, because then she can see if her load's done, she can kind of check on it, she can close the door if she wants, but this is a really great location. In case I didn't tell you that, this is a great location. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, they don't tell you to do this, but my husband and I learned this the hard way, and we've seen a lot of people kind of have issues with this. Right now it's nice and flat. It looks like it's elevated a little bit. It's really not. And when you are done freeze drying and it starts to defrost, you have to drain it, and the drain is back here. But all the water kind of levels out and kind of sits there. So what we do, my husband and I, Gary actually made us this really fun little board. Easy. Keep it simple, easy, 1x2 or whatever, 2x1 or whatever they're called. Me no speaky language like that. So you want to just put something like this, and then when I lift it, Kammie's going to put it underneath these little feet down here. You see it? Mm-hmm. And then when you rest it, perfect, thank you. This doesn't affect the way that the machine works in any way. All it does is gives it a nice little incline so the water naturally goes back here and drains more efficiently. That's the only thing that I think I would do differently if I was going to engineer this. I would definitely put bigger feet under here to make it lifted. So that's what we do to make sure it lifts back, and that will be nice. It doesn't do anything to the product inside. It doesn't mess with anything on how it functions. It works really well. So now that we are all set up and we're going to start pushing power and stuff, we'll be back in just a second, but Kammie's got some trays ready to go in, but we're going to first check her vacuum. So we'll be back in just a second.
Look. All of a sudden.
There you go, yeah. It goes really fast. Yeah, it does go really fast.
Okay,
so yeah, that's where I stop.
Okay.
But they want you to go to here. So obviously always defer. I'm not going to tell you not to do something. However, I like to go a little bit above because it does use it throughout the machine and stuff. So it's just like using a car. You know, you do an oil change on a car. You always put a little extra because it's going to go through the machine. So that's what I do. That's what my husband taught me, but it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Oh, here's your toilet paper piece. You can clean off that, but I'll give you a square like I was showing you.
Telling you I do.
I know. So you have bigger holes here. So it's just like here, just a second, because it'll leak onto your carpet. That's what I was telling you. That's why I pull these down like this. And then you just put it in there.
Oh, look at you.
So it should stay, yeah. And then it'll leak there instead of leaking onto your carpet, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and you just want to make sure that's hand tight. Not too tight because you'll have to take it off again. And when it's warm, it seems like the plastic seems to swell a little bit. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are going to see if we can turn some stuff on here. And there's a switch. There it is. Okay, I think I turned it on. Okay. So now we're going to come here and so we really just want to test and make sure that that it's going to get a seal or vacuum on it. So go ahead and hit start. And hit liquid. It doesn't matter. Pick non-liquid. We're just doing a test.
Okay.
So then what you're going to do is hit not frozen. And then push. So is it closed? It should be closed over there. Can we close it? Nope. So this has to be up. That's how you know if it's closed or not. Okay, then go ahead and hit continue. And then what we're going to do is I want you to hit the blue button again.
Is that home?
Yeah, that's their button that controls this stuff.
Okay.
So if anytime you start that, this is what we want to do. Is we want the tour to get down. We want to see it drop down. It takes about 5 minutes, but we want it to get down to 500 or lower.
Oh, wow.
Test. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're okay. I can feel it. We're just watching it go down. 8:20, 17. So after this, once we get to 500, we'll turn it off, and then I'll go in and we can get the trays in. Okay. Start your first batch. Yes. It's exciting. I know.
So you can do liquids and
absolutely
other solids.
So you can do anything that you want. You can do all solids. You can do like a dessert and a savory.
Oh.
The only thing I would watch is anything that's like extremely abundantly flavored, like fajitas.
Garlic.
Right, garlic, onion. So if you do any of that stuff, don't do it with like ice cream or cookies. I've done it, and having a vanilla ice cream sandwich that tastes like fajitas is gross. And I'm like, ooh, this is not good. But so I try to keep my Taylor. We're gonna be putting in huckleberries. We're gonna alternate these suckers, and on the off chance that Cammie's bottom one, you should be doing this, is that her bottom one is just like mine. You can kind of feel how you have to work it around the back shelf back there. We're going to put the 2 tomato sauces on the alternating shelves. You're obviously very better than me. Well, you just kind of have to angle it because you've got those shells at the back. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab your black thingy. What's that called? Like pork cover or whatever? It should be in here, right? Pork cover? Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Okay. Now this is where I went wrong because no, it didn't say it on the instructions or anything. You want to do it? Mm-hmm. So I was trying to put it where it was like, I was trying to make sure that this was all around the outside. Oops, sorry. But it's like you just said, it's a suction thing.
So you have to shove it in.
Yeah, so you have to shove it in. And it's okay if it's rumply and whatever, that doesn't matter. Okay. Just want to make sure that it can get.
So what's the purpose of that?
This is to actually keep it so it's oops.
Insulated?
It's insulated because it gets so cold. It gets negative 41 degrees. And you don't want that on here. Yes, this is thick enough. Yes, it can handle it. But to avoid extra cracking and more temperature. Oh. Now, you can leave this off. I've heard people say, oh, I want to watch it. Well, leave it off and watch it. You can totally do that. But there's no, I mean, you don't have to. Like, I prefer not to because Brian was explaining what happens when this stuff gets cracked. It starts getting tempered and kind of damaged. You don't want that. So, that's it. Okay, Cammie.
Okay, we're just going to hit start.
We're just going to hit start. And so, you have liquid. I always err on the side of that.
Okay,
so I pick liquid, yes.
Even though I've got berries in there.
But you have tomato sauce. That's so. Okay. So if you have one tray of something that could be considered liquid, like sour cream, soup, stew, spaghetti sauce, anything that's even slightly like wet, chili, anything like that, I always go with liquid.
Okay.
Always. Ice cream, liquid.
Okay.
So if it could get melted into a liquid, then that's when you put liquid.
Okay.
Now, so what if we have huckleberries in there? The liquid gets more care and gets more attention.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So the non-liquid, it's not going to go everywhere. Like,
Okay.
your huckleberries aren't going to fly everywhere. But your tomato sauce could.
Makes
Does that make sense? So so you already are starting to get some kind of a suction. So I always put, this is me, if you hit pre-frozen, it's going to tell you to wait 30 minutes because it's going to get the drum that cold. I skip that.
Because I've already frozen.
You've already frozen them. So I always just put not frozen and then it starts right away.
Okay.
So, and then
please close drain valve.
I want to make sure that's closed.
I don't want it to continue to drain while it's
or suck air in because you can't get, that's where it sucks the air in. There you go. Yep.
Okay.
And then hit continue.
I like that step.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then I will always check it.
Yeah. We do have a step thing on the website that you can download. And it's free, so you can go get it to make you sure that you hit all of the steps.
Perfect.
So it works. Okay. So that's it, and it's going to sit here and freeze. It's already trying to get 30. Okay, and that's how you set this up. And when Kammie is done with this batch, she'll know exactly what to do to check it for temperatures and stuff, as we have in other videos. And then she will be changing her oil because she uses Robin Air, and I use Dairyland. So I'm going to see if I can bring her down some Dairyland from Tractor Supply Company. Alright, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.